Welcome to Scene Invaders. I'm Dan. That's Bagface. That's Billy Blinks. And today we're here to talk Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 4 called Eldest. First off, I want to shout out Billy Blinks' channel. He has a channel covering reality TV called The Reality Guys. If you're into reality TV, that's all you need to know. Go to that channel and you get everything you want. So yeah, check it out. And I'll link it in this video too, in the description. So I thought we'd start with a fun exercise with everyone saying their favorite part of the episode, because there's a lot of negativity out there. So let's shine some light on this show. I think it's pretty good. And I'll go first. I really enjoyed Galadriel's fight, and it seemed really, really practical to me. And they didn't use too much VFX. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool. What about you guys?
My favorite part was, this is going to sound like it's not my favorite part and I'm trying to shit on the show, but there's a scene where they forgot it was raining. And it's raining in one cut, and then the next cut, it's not raining anymore, and no one's wet. But they added the rain sound effects, which, like, I watched it over like 3 times, and I was like, "Okay, hair's wet, hair's not wet." That shit just broke me. I laughed for like 20 minutes. It was so good. But also, yeah, Galadriel's fight was sick.
Yeah.
Bad editing, man. Because a lot of those stunts looked super cool, and it would cut off right when I'm like trying to digest it. But that fight was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. Bill?
Oh, Entwives, dude. We got to see the Entwives.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We got to see that wife. I mean, this is exactly what I talked about at the beginning of last week. If you're going to be a lore purist, you're going to hate stuff. But if you could just enjoy it for what it is, like, this episode, you saw the Entwives, you got Tom Bombadil on the screen, you had barrow-wights. Like, I don't care if any of it's not in the right spot. It's good member berries, and I'm enjoying it. And again, if you're just taking it as a show, and we'll talk about that a lot today. What was wrong with what was introduced today? Nothing was out of line.
No. Well, I did some research before we hopped on here, and Tom Bombadil, he like predates the books, right? There was a book about him before the Lord of the Rings books came out. Is that correct?
He's just like one of those, and people could correct me if I'm wrong, but he's like one of those Maiar, just like Gandalf, but he's way before. He's there before any elves, anybody. He's just got there first.
I don't know if Tolkien actually specifies if he's a Maiar or
the Valar.
Yeah.
Like an actual god. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually clarifies. Apparently he doesn't, but yeah, he predates all life, I think, is like the point. He's like there before anything else is there, and he's just been chilling.
It's pretty cool.
That's exactly it. The whole thing in the Fellowship, and that's why if you watch, and you can go back, I mentioned last week, the appendices for the Jackson films, and people were like, "Whoa, where the hell is Tom Bombadil?" And he made a great dramatic point. It's like, you can't spend the first half an hour of a movie doing a giant prequel about wars and battles and people getting pursued for this ring, and no one, even Gandalf, can't keep it. And then you get to this hippie in the woods, and he's like, "I don't want it." They offer it to him. They offer it to him, and it's not even that he's like, he literally says something to the effect, he's like, "I would end up losing it."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
he's just be chilling too hard, and like that's great though, right? Like, of course you can't have that in a movie, but like for this kind of show, like I hope we're gonna see him. I want them to lean a little bit more into the goofiness though. He seemed very serious, a little more serious than I thought we were gonna get, but
yeah, he sings a lot. He sings a lot.
He needs to almost feel like he's done too much acid. That's kind of how I pictured that character. Yeah. He's just like off in his own world kind of thing. But yeah, also I love the fact that they kind of hint like he could just 1v1 Sauron, and he's like, "Nah, but I'm just wandering around, so good luck, dude."
He's a guy that like believes in like his role in destiny. He's like, "Yeah, I could just take care of this, but that's not what I'm here for. That's like you guys. Like, that's your thing.
That's up to you.
You guys got it. Don't worry about it." I really like how many Shire hints there were in this episode, where you're like, yeah, they were looking for a place where you could just dig a hole in the ground and just live in a hole. And I was like, "Oh, what's up?" This show's totally going to end with the creation of the Shire, which is just wild, man.
Yeah.
See, that bag, I thought when we first talked about the exercise, I was going to be cynical too and be like, my favorite part was that I was dead right about how this show is going to end last week. They were gonna, like, and man, they had, I'm sorry, like, it's cool. Like, again, everything, this is going to be an origin for everything, right? But they got like Hobbit murals on the wall, like they were caged.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I'm still having some fun in watching this show, so why don't we hand off to the resident expert of Lord of the Rings, Bill, take us through this episode.
Before even the barrow-wight stuff, I did think of you, Bag, in this episode because there were definitely some wide shots of people walking through mountains this week.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there were,
I actually
yeah.
noticed that too. And I was like, damn, there's some nice on location, big sweeping shots, which is nice to see.
But
That's what
one
you
thing I
wanted.
will ask you, being the resident, like actual cinema camera expert, I just feel like they're very fast moving. Like, could they just slow down just like a tiny bit? Is there
Yeah.
a reason for that? Or is it just like,
So my gripe with it still is if you're trying to take the film language from the original trilogy, Peter Jackson shot with really long lenses, which means they're super zoomed in. And when you have a super zoomed in lens and you move it, the background looks like it's moving really dramatically. So we'd always do these shots on top of mountains where he's super zoomed in on the characters and they're using a helicopter to like fly circles. It's kind of like the shot that Michael Bay always uses in like the Bad Boys movies, where it's like zoomed in on their
I
face
know what
and
you mean,
rotating.
yeah.
Same idea. So Peter Jackson
yeah.
used that a lot. And in this, they're using drones. You can't really get super long lenses on drones, and they're going to have like a quicker, jerkier movement. So it doesn't feel as good as the original, but I'll take it.
like I said, I thought it's a nice little shout out. We obviously, a lot of this episode still kind of features Galadriel versus Elrond, but also still that they are friends at the end of the day. The idea that he just don't trust those rings.
Yeah.
Anything that she says, he's like, oh, no, that means the ring told you. Nope, sorry, not doing it. But like I said, we don't have to go really out of like in order, but you guys mentioned the battles. I thought these were awesome. I really, really thought this was one of the better battle action scenes they've had, as far as at least not a monster sized battle, but just like the choreography of it, I thought was awesome.
So creative, man. It reminded me of the original trilogy in the best way, because there's so many shots of Legolas that they got so creative with what he's doing with his bow, and it really felt like they tapped into that for this scene. She's like popping the lanterns and like lighting them on fire, and then like hits their torches and lights them on fire, dips her fucking arrows as she's sliding. When she dodges that sword on the horse, when she like lays back, there's some wicked cinematography in there, man.
That's what I'm talking about. I really enjoyed it, and it seemed like very practical to me.
It's
it really did.
I don't know if you guys watched The Acolyte, but it's that Star Wars show that just ended.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best, but
yeah,
it almost annoys me that it's not the best show, but the choreography in it is so fucking cool. Like the coolest Star Wars fights I've seen on film, because they do such creative shit with the Force. And then, I don't know, it almost gets lost in like how contentious people are about the show itself. You can't even like have these sweet moments where you're like, that was dope.
It is true. I mean, there's a lot of people have made their mind up before they've gone into a lot of these shows now, unfortunately. I mean, look, and we're always kind of part of that, right? We're talking shows and talking theories, but the idea of people just looking for the problems and not being able to highlight the good parts. You didn't hear about the great choreography, right? In the reviews you were reading, you were just hearing about like how weird it was and the sisters and there's Plagueis and blah, blah, blah. That's what you end up knowing. Oh, it's the lowest rated show and now everyone's fighting about it. That's all I know about the show. The number one thing is everyone fought about it. And that's a shame, right? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of money thrown into that thing. So
there's a lot of talent too. That's the thing that always gets to me is it's not even to make a show that doesn't look good. This shit's still hard, man. There's still some talented, passionate people behind it. And it's a shame sometimes that like it gets lost in all the nerdgasm shit.
That's why we're here to shine some light, you know?
Hell yeah.
Shine some light.
Level-headed crew.
Shout out again. We said we saw the barrow-wights in the barrow downs. Now in the book, there were barrows. The barrow is just like a tomb anyway. So that's a loose term you can use. There definitely were ones that preceded the ones that you see in the Fellowship of the Ring. Tom Bombadil helps them out with that as well. He saves them from the barrow-wights. He just rolls in there and probably just like waves his hat at them. You know, like it's just like basically like I think if I remember correctly, the book just basically says like go away. It's like they just go. They're like, oh shit, you're right. Say it.
Like, oh, it's you. Oh, peace.
Like oh Tom, come on, man. Like, but I thought it was cool. The idea that you could only kill a barrow-wight with its own weapon was definitely something.
I'm curious about like how did they know that? Did he just put it together? How did he know?
I think you could just assume that like maybe he like if it's like Elrond, like he read about it or something.
Old legend kind of thing.
The kind of cliffhanger of the episode and their storyline is Adar kind of getting the upper hand right now. What's going to be interesting is is Adar going to try to take them prisoner, or is he going to propose a like little unholy alliance? Because most of the reason he's going over to Eregion as well is because he's looking for Sauron. So
Yeah.
they're all looking for Sauron. So I'm curious to see. I mean, we saw that flash forward a little bit in her visions where like they're being held at sword point at the battle. So I'm just curious what road they end up getting to the battle now, because they're not going to escape. I doubt they just purely escape. Maybe they do, but I don't see that.
Do you think we see her visions like actually happen? They like come true.
Yeah.
100%.
That's exact shots I bet you that we see
That's
later
cool.
on in the season.
Yeah,
I was watching a video and it had an interesting theory about how when she tells Elrond that like if it comes down to her or Sauron, like if she has to die for him to kill Sauron, like kill Sauron, I feel like that's probably going to lead to him making that decision, and he's going to end up saving her and letting Sauron go. He like almost got to take down Sauron and then he won't, and then he had the chance to destroy the ring and miss that too, just like taking L's.
It was like, nah.
Yeah, nah, bro, I'm good.
And we'll touch on that a little bit, but yeah, just to pop back with Tom Bombadil, I mean, we need to talk about it, man. Honestly, the whole point of this coming down to now is the stranger Gandalf, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Gandalf's name literally means wand elf. They talked about when the Harfoots were talking, they said they were with a grand elf. Now, this is just reminding me of season 1 where like I didn't really need Halbrand to be Sauron. I was like, he could be something different. But then it was like almost becoming so obvious. And now I'm kind of worrying because I would like the blue wizard stuff. And I think the other bad guy is going to be a blue wizard. But like, I just have a hard time believing they're just smacking us over the face with it. So I don't know. I'm still just going to go that it's Gandalf.
You're probably, I don't know if you were going to mention it or not, but you remember when he like goes to that branch and he grabs that branch? That like seemed like it could be the staff or something like that. I don't know. That's where my mind went. I don't know if I'm totally off base or not.
No. I mean, they talk about this episode about having to be able to earn a wizard staff, right? I mean, it's almost like a little bit of a Harry Potter type reference.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
But it seems like Gandalf or Blue Wizard and Tom Bombadil are going to go like a vision quest or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so that's basically, I mean, the Dark Wizard says he's going to go take care of it himself. It's kind of like Thanos. So I guess we're going to get Wizard Wars soon. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, we talked about the Harfoots for the most part. I mean, again, it's just like the bad guys are threatening the hobbits. Hobbits said, nah. I feel like a lot of the hobbits are going to get massacred.
This entire show could have cut the hobbits out and it would be a lot better for it. This is goddamn, man. Every time they go to their story, it just screeches to a halt. There's just so much momentum in it. Even like Gandalf, not Gandalf, whatever he is, there's momentum in his story now without them there. It's like, oh, okay, he's going to face Sauron. He's got this big quest. He's with this powerful guy kind of thing. And like the wizard's coming to fight him. But God, man, even when he sends, what are the dudes with the masks? What are they called? I can't remember their name.
They gave
Rune
a name,
soldiers.
I forget.
Yeah.
The guy was bad rune band.
But when the Dark Wizard like sends them out and he's like, you guys go find the short people. I'll go deal with the wizard. And you're like, why are you looking for them again? I don't even remember, man. I thought we were just looking for stars. Like, why all of a sudden are they like top of the hit list for a fucking powerful wizard? They're like children. They're like literally children.
The only thing I could think is like they're going for them so they can draw out the wizard, right? Like draw out the stranger.
Like, yeah, it's
like convoluted.
So
though. Like,
odd.
Go get the wizard. The thing is, though, I think the point is to like I'm curious in the show. We'll go back to Bombadil, but like for all intents and purposes, like Gandalf's good right now, right? Like he could just like no one's gonna go try to steal him with Tom Bombadil. Right? So eventually, I think Bombadil is gonna be like, yeah, you just got to go. Like, yeah. That's what's going to end up happening, right? Because no one's going to overtake him. So that I'm very interested to see how they end up parting ways, kind of too. It's going to be like Luke being like leaving his training too early. No, Tom, I have to go save my friend. Yo, bro, you're not ready. No, I got to go. Then he goes and gets his ass beat. Like, dude, you just made me sad though. That you're like, how is this going to last 5 seasons with these hobbits?
I know, man. And I swear to God, it had to have been someone at the studio. Like, it doesn't feel like it was the creators of the show. It feels like someone from higher up was like, you got like a Frodo in there, right? He was popular. You're like, what?
But he's got to be a chick now.
Yeah. Put a chick in it and make her Frodo. Like, oh,
Can you get a chick
God.
Sam too?
Yo, actually though, it's great. It feels
Dorian,
so
Poppy, or Frodo and Sam. Like,
it's just their stories just member berries. It's like, oh, remember when they fell down a hill together? We got them
it's so
falling
funny.
down a sand dune together. Like, I get
Dude,
it.
you're right. You're right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you think about the show without them, every character could be where they are right now. Without them in the show, nothing changes.
Yeah,
got a
they haven't
point.
affected the overall story in any way right now. And
Which
then
is
I appreciate that Tom brought up Sauron to the stranger. When it's like, by the way, like you have to go deal with all this too. Like your story's not separate than everything else happening. It's like,
yeah. Well, I don't know. It kills me because there's a really good purpose and reason for hobbits to be in the original trilogy. Just like they're small and sneaky to get the ring to Mordor. There's just no reason we in a story that's going to culminate with everybody fighting Sauron. What are we doing? What are we doing with the Harfoots? What are they going to do?
in theory, they're saying like, well, we really want to like build up like how resilient and strong and witty hobbits are. And in my head, I'm going again. I love Lord of the Rings. I'm going, well, I had 6 movies of you showing me how fucking resilient hobbits are and how main character energy they can be. They're good. Like, you don't need to show me like 1,000 years ago they were badass too. It's like, no, it's cool. Like, I got it. Like you said, like it's a fair criticism. Last storyline I just want to mention is the Isildur, Arondir, Theo. We got the Ents, right? Entwives were awesome. We've touched on that. I mean, I think Entwives is a great callback to the movies, to Treebeard. Them losing the Entwives is a very laugh out loud, very Tom Bombadil-esque thing. We don't know. Wandered off one day and we just forgot where they went and were trees, and then that's what happens. You still have Moody Isildur and his girlfriend Arondir. Everyone else wants her out. He wants him in. It's like the teen melodrama we have on this show. And we have angry Theo, who's definitely going down bad boy lane. And still,
Yeah.
I'm still going with the Witch King stuff. I just think it's too classic to not just go all in with.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a theory, but it's probably wrong. I think Estrid's going to end up with Isildur. I think they're going to end up together.
Right? That's the chick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's probably not lore accurate either, but like whatever.
Probably not. Because wasn't he the king when the movies first started?
Yeah, he's the guy
He's
that
in the
doesn't throw
prologue.
the ring.
He's the one. Isildur's the one who won't throw the ring in the end. He cuts off Sauron's fingers and he goes in with Elrond and goes, nah. And then he gets killed pretty soon after by a bunch of random orcs. And that's when the ring gets lost in the river and then Gollum finds it like way, way later. Yeah, but I don't think it's a bad theory. It doesn't need to be that moody. Like, it could just be a little bit more like fantastical and just be like, oh, this kid's pretty, badass. And they just like get together.
Yeah.
Do you like him anymore yet?
I think he's acting a little better, and I think as like the next few seasons will go on, because then the Numenor stuff will get heavy. Like, they'll go back, there'll be the whole fall of Numenor stuff, all that stuff. Like, he'll have shit to do. Like, I just feel like they're just killing time for him right now.
I think I figured out my issue with this show while we were talking about that. I think the writers are writing one arc for each character across the 5 seasons. By the end, it'll be like, oh, look, that person had an arc. But there's just no arcs within seasons. Like Isildur, every time I watch a scene with him, I'm like, you gotta be like a badass king in like 2 seasons, pretty much.
Yeah.
What's going on,
exactly.
man? Like,
yeah,
the flip's gonna be crazy in 1 season, I think.
It'd be like a Neville Longbottom glow up.
The scene where he gets sucked into the mud, though, that was pretty cool. I like how it was like never-ending story callback kind of vibe. And then, when Arondir cuts out of that worm thing, pops out.
He's a badass.
Yeah, this guy's cool as fuck.
Every week.
Yeah, he does. He's swift, that guy. I enjoy him.
He'll probably end up dying though.
Oh yeah, he's too cool not to die, and he's black. Do you notice how they took out the black guy first in that scene with the Ghost King dudes? The only elf that's black, he just gets snapped up right away. I was like, what the hell? I thought we were past this.
But that's really what I got, guys. I mean, I really enjoyed the episode. It's fun to just have one a week now. This makes it a little bit lighter on the strain and for the viewers. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, me too. It's much better with just one. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you enjoying it? Let us know down below. And yeah, we'll be back for next week. So leave any comments. What do you like about the show? What do you not like about the show? Do you agree with our take? Disagree? Let us know. We're here for anything. So All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.